Management Part 2. In this video, we'll be discussing overrides. We'll be showing off our refer depth feature. We'll be showing how we can use the category lookup tool to determine what a website's category is rated as. In the security tab, we'll be discussing how we can create a manager locally or create them through LDAP. We'll be showing off our email notifications, as well as the various security levels that we can assign a manager. Welcome to NetSpective. In the interface, if we come to the left sidebar and click on Group Overrides, we can see a list of all the overrides we have put into the system. As you can see from the subheadings, we have domain level overrides, IP address overrides, we can add specific URL overrides, we can even override certain search terms and file extensions as any one of the categories we see in the group policy section. Coming into the overrides section, if I click on one, we can see that the window now drops down. We have our domain level override up top. We can add any comments. We can recategorize this website as any of the categories we see in the group policy section. Over on the right, we have our start and end date features, where we can have this override begin and then end on a certain day. This override will then turn on and turn off, and you won't have to wait weeks later. Do I still need this? Can I clear it out yet? It'll just disable on its own and stay in the system so that you can see it and re-enable it if you wish. Below here we have our refer depth feature. So a number of years ago, customers would comment to us that they would put in these overrides, and a lot of the images and things on these web pages may appear to be broken because those images are actually linked from different websites. So we added in the refer depth feature to basically say anything that's linked to this website that we're allowing will also be allowed through. That way all the images will be pulled in and the web page will look as it should. And then below here we can assign this override to either the system, which will apply this override for all of the groups, or we can cancel this out and only select this override for certain groups. If you wish to know what a website is categorized as on the appliance, before you create an override, you can always use our category lookup feature found in the upper right hand corner. From here, we can type in a website and then simply press the lookup button to see what it is categorized as, either for the system or for a group of users. In the security section, we can create managers which have privileges over other groups of users. If I add a new one, we can see that we can create a manager locally by providing their username and password, but we can also pull them in from your directory source. Below we have the email field, so we can specify what types of emails do we want to send to this manager. If we want to add them to the block page bypasses list, get product updates, and so on. Below we have our various security levels. We have our system admin, which has privileges over everything in NetSpective. We have our block page override manager, which can only bypass a block page for end users. They can't come into the NetSpective and change any settings. This is perfect for a teacher, a librarian, perhaps somebody at a help desk, if they need to temporarily bypass web pages for users. Our group manager can access only certain groups within the system. We consider our group manager to have sort of a NetSpective within a NetSpective, to where they can come in and only manage settings for certain groups of users, and they can only manage the settings that you want them to. From here, I can specify the particular groups that I want this manager to have privileges over. I can then choose what I want them to have access to. Maybe I don't want them to create overrides. Maybe I want them to be able to edit users, but not delete any or create any new ones. I can even exclude certain categories from the group policy section, because I know a manager probably isn't going to need to turn on and off pornography on a day-to-day basis. We can exclude these categories completely, and they won't even see them in the list. And then finally, we have our IP partitions feature, where we can set a range of IP addresses that this manager has privileges over as opposed to assigning them to a certain group. We created this for some of our larger customers that have a number of different schools under them as an ISP level, and they want to delegate out manager privileges based on IP address range. Thank you for watching. Please visit us at getnetspective.com for more information.